Hey guys, it is time for another update on the Gseat. So I eventually went and got the wheel stand and my G27 wheel, mounted the shifter over on this side, just a very temporary setup. I think I'm going to mount it to the actual wheel stand. It's kind of too close there. Got my backup VR helmet, my CV-1, and did a little more work to the Gseat. So the first thing, most obvious one, is this panel over here. I've had these cut out, but after I moved the motors, I changed the motors from the wiper motors to the two wheelchair motors. They're too wide, and they push those connecting rods out past this 2x4 essentially. So I had to make cutouts in there, so that way they can swing. Let's see if we can see that. So as it comes forward, it has room to swing, and if you see, it definitely is flush to protruding a little bit from the wood, so 100% necessary. So I got that done. I need to get the other side done. It's currently, I just have the cutout, but I need to get the go over there and map the swing rotation, because I don't think they're actually symmetrical. It's close, but I don't think I could actually just trace that pattern on that one. It would work. So I've got to do that, but the biggest change is in the seat portion of the Gseat. So how it was before is, let me back up a little bit. The seat section, let's see here, the seat section was actually parallel with the ground. It was completely flat, and then the backrest is at, if you're measuring from this side, it's about 130, 135 degrees, something like that. If you're measuring from this direction, it's like 45 degrees. Somewhere around there. I don't have the exact number on that, but essentially what that would do is, as those back straps would tighten, it would push you down into the seat. It would, first of all, it would compress your spine, but since this was just completely flat, it would allow you to kind of slip towards the pedals, slip that way. But the crushing of the spine was very real. Like, you could feel it in your lower back. It was painful after, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. It was very, very painful. So I definitely decided that had to go. So what I did is I took the seat, and instead of it being parallel with the ground, as you can see, it now is raked, the front of the seat is raked upwards. So that way, when the back strap, it forces you down there, it's a little L shape, and so your butt gets forced into that crevice there. But actually, since it's kind of holding you and your thighs are higher, then it holds you into the back of the seat, so it doesn't actually crush you downwards near as much. I've driven it a lot more, and it definitely does not feel anywhere near the pain that it was before. So that has certainly remedied that. And in the process of doing that, I actually moved the mounts of the paddles. I changed this, the bar here, this crossbar, and also this front crossbar. This one I just turned sideways. It used to be thick side out like this. It was this thick, and then each one of those, each one of the hinges, the barrel of the hinge was mounted to the outside of this. So each one of those hinges sat on the outside of this 2x4. Now I've turned that 2x4 on its side, so it went from this thickness to this thickness, and mounted them there. So what that essentially means is, now it's not so spread, and so the paddles, instead of just kind of lifting the outside of your butt cheek, now lift a lot more of your butt cheek, and subsequently your entire body and your weight. So what I've discovered in this iteration is that this paddle's now dying, because the IBT2 is just hitting current overload, or thermal overload, one of the two. I've added thermal paste to the bottom of the heatsink and everything, but it's just too much at this point. So I'm going to more than likely set up parallel IBT2s for all of these, all four of the motors on here, so that way that should no longer be an issue. I haven't actually tested parallel IBT2s with 24 volt. I've only done it on the 12 volt rig downstairs. And the last thing that we're going to do with this chair is I have this this seat from one of the electric wheelchairs. You can see its little control box right there. But I'm essentially going to be disassembling, ripping this entire seat apart, taking the fabric off and pulling the foam off of it, and cutting the foam in half. And I will essentially be using the foam to pad my paddles, you know, the backrest and the seat. And then if I can use the material to cover it, I've got to cut everything in half, obviously, because the paddles are cut in half, so I want to pad each one of the paddles individually. So hopefully there's enough material and everything I need from that. We'll see how that goes, but that is the next step. And then I'm very pleased with the Gseat at this point, especially with the seat. It is at a good angle now. I don't know if it's a perfect angle, but it's definitely a lot better than it was. The only problem now, like I said, is this the paddle nearest to you, the seat paddle nearest to the camera, is failing after I don't know, about 8 minutes or so, 10 minutes of gameplay in Assetto Corsa. So that that definitely needs to be fixed so I can test it more, and then get the other side on. And then I'll also need to make panels for the front here for the seat. It'll come off of that angle and then angle up to where the seat is and then come down, and then it'll have a front plate on the front and the other side, so it'll be fully enclosed. And then the last thing I'll need to do is get all the electronics actually mounted, do the wiring, extend all the wiring, do what I need to do, and find a place where I can get everything wired. And I'll more than likely have the Arduino's connections popping out the bottom, and then the power supply, I'll have the power switches for those popping out of the side panel as well when it's done. But that is the latest update to the Gseat. Talk to you guys later.